A couple of weeks back, the biggest drama in the world of AI unfolded. It was about the fate of the world's most renowned AI company CEO, OpenAI. Sam Altman was fired and hired again in the span of a few short hours. But what exactly happened? To find out, let's jump into the truth behind this whole drama. But before we start, make sure you have subscribed to the channel because we bring all the latest and greatest blues from the world of AI. We believe that to discuss this whole drama, it's important to shower some light on the history of OpenAI. OpenAI was established as a nonprofit organization with donations from people like Elon Musk, aiming to ensure that AI benefits all of humanity. By 2019, the need for substantial scaling and model size required a huge funding. We are talking about millions of dollars, most of which was going to be used for training models on cloud computers. To address this issue in 2019, OpenAI created a capped profit entity alongside its nonprofit status, allowing for returns to investors, capped at 100 times with excess profits flowing back to the nonprofit. OpenAI has since become mighty successful, with a funding round valuing the organization at over $80 billion. The salary structure of OpenAI, particularly for roles like software engineers, includes a median salary of $900,000, comprising a $300,000 base and the remainder as stock options. This is comparable to compensation from major tech companies like Google and Microsoft, but OpenAI was just a startup. OpenAI's competitor Anthropic, which split from OpenAI in 2021, also boasts high base salaries with figures reaching $430,000. Now the base is set for us to look into what happened recently. It was Friday, 17th of November. 4 of the board members decided to change the company's fate forever. Their names include Ilya Sutskever, who is the chief scientist at the company, Tasha McCauley, who has founded various startups in robotics and geospatial technology and is a big effective altruist, Helen Tonner, a public policy expert from Washington, D.C., and Adam DeAngelo, the CEO of Quora. At one side of the board were these 4 names, and on the opposite, there was Sam Altman, the CEO and founder, along with Greg Brockman, the co-founding president of the company. These 4 members met together and decided to use their majority for firing Sam Altman and Greg Brockman. The case for Greg was a bit different. He was not being fired, he was just being removed from the board. Greg was originally going to keep his position as president at the company, but he decided to resign later that same day in protest. The news spread rapidly, catching many off guard, especially Microsoft and other partners who appeared to be unaware of the impending development. The unfolding events quickly became a topic on Twitter, with remarks like, "AI seems to be taking over everyone's jobs," and playful speculations about the takeover of artificial general intelligence. The reason behind Sam's dismissal remained unclear, initially attributed to him not being consistently truthful, as stated by the board, but as the pages turned, more details emerged, the narrative shifted, revealing that Sam had merely assigned the same project to 2 individuals, which is not a severe transgression by any means. Anyways, Sam began trying to reverse the board's decision. It is being reported that he went in person to negotiate with the board. Both Sam and the board found some common ground, but then the board began to change their mind and missed a 5 p.m. deadline, by which many employees were set to resign and follow Sam and Greg as they leave the headquarters. At this point, everyone thought it was all over. OpenAI fans were posting tweets one after another, employees lost interest in their jobs, and more importantly, the company's investors found themselves in the middle of an oblivion. The Middle Eastern sovereign funds decided not to put in their money at the $80 billion plus valuation. Microsoft, of course, had the biggest stake. You'll be surprised to know that they own 49% of OpenAI. Now, this was the time for a savior to make an entry, and just like the movies, it happened. Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, came in and started some communications. Initially, he suggested Sam recreate another company inside Microsoft with all the people who decided to leave OpenAI along with him. This marked the birth of another headline. Sam and Greg agreed to join Microsoft, and they will create a new AI group. Meanwhile, the discontentment among OpenAI employees was growing. To put some gasoline on the fire, Sam made a tweet expressing affection for the company, and this led to another drama. Myra Murati, OpenAI's CTO, became interim CEO, but she was also with Sam and Greg. She even pledged to rehire Sam and Greg, defying the board's stance. An open letter emerged, signed by over 90% of OpenAI's workforce, demanding the board's resignation. In response, Microsoft's Satya Nadella promised to match OpenAI's salaries, a significant incentive for employees leaving the company. Now the board was feeling the heat. They just could not see the back of 90% of the company's employees. The mastermind of this whole firing regime, Ilya, decided to change horses in the middle of this battle, and he backed off. Now, the board only had 3 votes, but why did Ilya back off? Many call it a power grab, while others thought it might be the net result of communications. Ilya is a scientist, a person with a calm demeanor, and everyone was wondering why he would kick out the CEO. When we tried to find the answer to this question, we ended up finding another twist in this tale. There was some speculation that perhaps Sam and co. have internally achieved some kind of an AGI, and there was disagreement between him and the board about how to proceed. Sam Altman likes rolling off things in the market quickly so he would make some money, while the board, led by Ilya, felt much more strongly about safety concerns. But don't you think this theory is a little weak? Why would Ilya ditch his principles later on and end up in support of Sam? Now, Ilya was clear the world was now nominating Adam DeAngelo to be the mastermind of this whole movement. He also had a conflict of interest as his other company had recently released PO, which was a way to use English to program custom chatbots. Now, this tale begins a few days prior to this whole mess when OpenAI had released their latest GPT models. Around that time, Adam expressed his concerns and came up with a suggestion to counter OpenAI's developments, possibly framing it as a concern for AI safety. The other board members, who were committed to altruistic causes and preventing AI from overpowering humanity, were also involved. They never imagined that Microsoft will announce the recruitment of Sam and Greg, and now they could not do anything else but try to reinstate them. The situation was chaotic, involving Sam's firing, the interim CEO suggesting bringing him back, and subsequent leadership changes. Emmett Shear, former CEO of Twitch, became part of the negotiations to bring Sam back. Negotiations finally concluded late on Tuesday, with Sam and Greg returning to the company. Most details had been settled 2 days earlier, with the additional time spent deciding which board member would take responsibility. The board was reluctant to admit their fault and wanted some face saving. They never told why he was fired in the first place, and they never told why they are hiring him again. Ilya, Helen, and Tasha had already left the board, while Adam remained, possibly due to his perceived influence. The new interim board now includes Adam Brett Taylor, co-CEO of Salesforce, and Lawrence Summers, a former Treasury Secretary. During Thanksgiving week, OpenAI had a break and employees took time off. Despite this, many stayed involved in office activities to navigate the ongoing drama and conclude negotiations before Thanksgiving, which they successfully managed. Now we are done with both the history and drama, and now it's time to address some of the most frequently asked questions during this whole period. The first question, obviously, is, did OpenAI actually develop an AGI? To answer this, we have no clear-cut answer, but for now, let's have some faith in Ilya. Surely, if there was something like that, Ilya would have gone against Sam. It sounded very believable in the beginning, but then most people lost interest in this theory. More evidence to a no lies in the fact that Sam was fired with a reason stating not consistently candid, instead of something more provocative or disgraceful. Now, the second question is really funny. It says, was OpenAI taken over by AGI? Everyone loves joking about this, but the answer is 100% no. They are not even close to an AGI, as far as our research can suggest from what the company has published so far. But now, this is the most important question. Will this drama affect AGI timelines? The answer to this is a no as well. This is because companies sometimes do end up in a mess, and sooner or later they do come out of it. The development will continue at its steady pace, and if not AI, another company might come up with an AGI. Another common question revolves around Sam Altman splitting his attention towards other ventures. This could be the case, but people of his caliber often put their eggs in different baskets. He had been pitching other ventures, but that is just business as usual for Sam, as it seems to be for many other entrepreneurs. Now, lastly, we are going to answer the most important question. It says, can a company survive losing its founder? The answer is yes. Apple survived without Steve Jobs, and today it's the most valued company on earth. Businesses work in a very complex way. The survival of a company post-founder loss hinges on factors like leadership transition, established processes, and institutionalized culture. A robust leadership team, ingrained corporate culture, and effective succession planning enhance resilience. If the brand is strong beyond the founder's persona and stakeholders maintain confidence, the impact is mitigated. We don't know if OpenAI has achieved an AGI yet, but we surely know that something is cooking inside NVIDIA's research centers. Have they developed the world's first AGI? Click on the video link popping up to find out.